This presentation will show you how to use EBSCOhost. First, you need to go to MyKCC and sign into the site. From there, you go up to the top here, click on LRC. From there, you come down and click on EBSCOhost. At this point, you want to click on EBSCOhost Research Databases. This is a list of the databases within EBSCOhost. Think of EBSCOhost as this monstrous file cabinet. Each one of these databases is a drawer. Within each drawer you have files, which would be the journals, and within each file or journal are articles. Right? That's a pretty good analogy of what EBSCOhost is. Right? So EBSCOhost is not what we're going to as far as getting the information. EBSCOhost just has all of these smaller databases. Now, to figure out which database you want, first you have to figure out what is your topic. Right? Once you have your topic, then you can start thinking about what databases do I need. Right? So let me show you how to figure that out. First, each database has more information. When you click on more information, this will come up. Right? It tells about the database. So every single database has this description. Academic Search Premier is a general database that has a little bit of everything. Now, once you get past the explanation of what the database is, it has searching tips. Let me enlarge this. Right? Now, you go down here with Boolean operators. It tells about how to use the AND, the OR, the NOT. Read all of this. Read it several times so you understand what's going on. Print it out. If you have two screens where you can look at both this and the database itself, do that. Somehow have that information so when you are searching, you will understand what's going on and how you should do your search parameters. Right? Now, here we go. So let's say that you're doing a paper on hydraulic fracturing. Well, hydraulic fracturing is a way of drilling oil. Lots of different issues in hydraulic fracturing, including pollution. Also, it's a cheap and easy way to get oil out of the ground that was previously not available, and so it's really good for the economy. So it has its upsides and downsides. All right. So with hydraulic fracturing, definitely choose Academic Search Premier. It's general, and it'll give you some information. Now, Agricola, here's a brief definition. This database contains bibliographic records from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Natural Agricultural Library. Coverage for Agricola dates back to 1970, includes more than 4.8 million citations. The citations are comprised of journal articles, monographs, theses, patents, software, audiovisual materials, and technical reports related to agriculture. Well, one of the things about hydraulic fracturing is that it pollutes the ground, so it prevents crops from growing. That's a possibility. We'll try that one too. I'm going to back up just a little bit here. You can select all if you wish, but what that does is it slows down your search process and it gives you information that really has nothing to do with what you're working on. Hydraulic fracturing might bring up something that has to do with hydraulics in a vehicle. Who knows? It can be really strange. So try to pick and choose your databases with care. Now, consumer medication information. This has to do with medications that are out there, possibly because there can be health issues involved. As with Alternate Health Watch, there might be something in there. Business Source Premier, well, definitely, because hydraulic fracturing is a business. Cinehall is a robust collection of full-text nursing and allied health journals. Yeah, I would say choose that one for this. Computer Source, no, that has to do with computers and researching with computers. That wouldn't really work. Eric, kind of a general database, yeah, I would choose that one too. Fuente Académica. This has a lot of different journals, but they tend to be in Spanish. So unless you speak Spanish fluently, I'd stay away from this one. Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia. How about that? Well, if you said yes, no, not this time. Encyclopedias are fine if you're in elementary school. Encyclopedias are great if you want some kind of background information, but don't use them for this essay. You are in college now, you want something more sophisticated. But again, remember, an encyclopedia could be great for background information so you'd know better where to look and what your issues are. Green file, that's one because that talks about anything that has to do with the ecology. Again, health source, that could help. Health source nursing, yes, that could help. Legal, yeah, there are legal issues concerning hydraulic fracturing, so that would definitely work. Library information science and technology abstracts, no, that just has to do with library science. You don't need that one. Mass Ultra is for high school libraries. Don't want that. You're in college now. Master File Premier, that's like Academic Search Premier. It is a general one. Always choose that one. Medic Latina, this is in Spanish. Medline, medical information, okay, that's a possibility. Middle Search Plus, this is for middle school, so stay away from that. Military and government collection, definitely, because this has to do with the government. There are government regulations that have to be adhered to. There are laws that the government makes, so that would definitely be a good source. Newspaper source, stay away from it. Primary search, this is for elementary schools. Stay away from that one. Professional development has nothing to do with this. Psych articles, probably not. Here's psychological behavior, same thing. Regional business news, that's a possibility. Religion and philosophy, no. Teacher reference, no. Topic search, probably not. And vocational career collection, no. Alright, so we have our databases, and you can always change these. You can go back and change them, and I'll show you in a little bit how to do that. So continue. Now you get to this page. I prefer, and I highly suggest you do this also, go to Advanced Search right here. That will give you more areas in which to search. Okay, so here we go. Here's the areas I'm talking about. So we're doing hydraulic fracturing on this one. So let's put in hydraulic fracturing. Okay, that's cool. Now over here, you can select a field. This has to do with all text. So these words would be in all of the text. Maybe this is the author, the title, the subject, the source. That would be a journal, an abstract, an ISSN. You don't need to worry about these right now. Okay, so let's see what happens if we do this. Search. And here we have our results. Now this page is 1 through 10 of 4,473 articles. Oh my God. Alright, so we want to cut these down a little bit. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't go through over 4,000 sites just to see what what's out there. So let's do this. Let's do scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Right? Click on that in Updates. Now what that is these are journals that have articles where people from that particular field have reviewed the article and said, yeah, this article makes sense, it's a good article, it's credible. Right? Now, 1995 through 2015, that can also be a way of narrowing down your search. Maybe you want it the dates a little bit sooner. Let's see what happens with just this. Looky here, we have 522. Well, that's better. Lots better. So now let's think about down here. Publication date. Where can we put it? Let's put it about 2000. Let's put it 2008. Since this is the beginning of the year. Alright, 447. Well, that's getting better. So what else can we do? We can have, definitely linked full text. That's always good. References available. Now this is an article where it shows the references that the author or authors of the article use. We can try this. That will cut them down even further. Okay, 24. Now that's doable. Let's see what we have here. Whiteman versus Chesapeake, damage to human health and the environment as seen through an application to hydraulic fracturing. All right. Well, depending upon what you're going to cover in this particular topic is going to depend on what you choose as far as the articles are concerned. So you can just go through and see what is in here. Now, right here, it starts out with a little bit of an explanation on what this is about. This is called the abstract. If you come up here and you just put your cursor here, it will come up with this, and this will give you a little more of the abstract. Many times it will give you the entire abstract. Right? So here it tells you what this article really is about. The article focuses on U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit's decision in case Whitman versus Chesapeake Appalachia, LLC, in which plaintiffs filed suit against natural gas producer Chesapeake Appalachia on the basis of trespass constituted by Chesapeake Bay drilling, yada, 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 yada. All right. Now, again, depending upon what you're going to write about, this might be a good article. This might be something that you go, no way. Right? So let's say this is an article that you want to use. Right? Well, the best way to do your research is first go through and choose a whole lot of articles that you think would work for your particular topic. Right? And then you want to add it to your folder. Okay, now from here you can also do PDF full text. So that just takes you right to the full text of the article. You can read it now if you wish, but it's better to get many of them and then go back and see which ones work. Okay. The best way to be able to access any of these articles quickly and easily is to add them to a folder. Right? Let's do that. First, you have to go to folder. All right, well here we really need to sign in. So let's go sign in. All right, there's the sign in page. If you don't have an account in EBSCOhost, you need to create one. So create a new account. This is like signing up for email. It's free. You don't get junk mail from this stuff. So do it. And it's fantastic tool. Right? Name, last name, email, all of this stuff in here. Make sure you have a password you can remember. Then do save changes. Right? I already have one, so I'm going to cancel this, which takes me here. I'm going to sign in. All right, so sign in, and here we go. No, you can have it remember your password if you like. Okay, so here is my account. See, I already have my account customized. You can do that, or you can have everything go in one of these, whatever you prefer, whatever suits your fancy. Now, if you want to customize this, so let's say you want to put this information in a folder that is for, let's say, writing 12101 distance education. Okay? And this is what the folder is going to be called. You can have folders within folders, just like Word does. You can select a folder to put this under or make this the main one. If you want a description, you can put it here. Don't have to. All you really need is the folder name. And then we save it. So now you see a new folder right here. Okay? We can put new other folders within this, or we can just leave it as is. Right now, let's leave it as is. And we're going to go back to our other page and do a new search. Oops, let's do the back. Okay. So if this is an article that you decide is of, or probably will be of use to you, then you can add it to a folder right here. And it should come up with what the different folders you have. So find the folder you want. See, I have a whole lot of them in here. Click on it, and voila, it is in the folder. So let's check, make sure. We'll go to folder, and we'll come down here. You want to click on the plus sign to see what happens. Articles 1. There it is. Yay, we did it. Now, you can do all kinds of things with this. Before you get done, you're going to have multiple articles in here. Some of them you might want to get rid of. Some of them you might want to copy to another file or folder. Some you want to move, whatever. All right, so let's say you want to just delete it. You would put it here, and then you say delete items, and it would delete this. Okay? Now, the beauty of this is when you want to go back and read this article, it's right here. You don't have to figure out, all right, what were the search parameters that I put in? What did I say up there in the search that brought up this article? And then look and look and look for it. That's going to waste your time. You don't have a whole lot of time, and you don't want to waste your time. Your time is very valuable. Do this. Make folders. Put your articles in folders. Right? So let's go back. So let's look at other things you can do with this. If you click on the title, you have all of this information that will help you in doing your Works Cited page. Right? And also this has the full abstract. You might find other things in here like subject terms, and sometimes down in this area you will find keywords. Well, keywords and subject terms are fantastic because once you find an article that you like, you can use the keywords or the subject terms, put those in the search parameters, and you can bring up other articles that are just like this. Right? Okay. So this gives you all the information you need. The author right there. There are multiple authors here. You put the first author in the list as the first one in your Works Cited. Don't put them in alphabetical order there. Put them just the way they're listed. The source is the journal, the year it came out, the volume, the issue, the page numbers, and 8P says there are 8 pages. That's not something you're going to need. Okay, it's an article, and here it tells a little bit more about it. Down here is the database, green file. So when you're asked for the database, that's where you go. Okay, I'm going to show you some other little things here. Here you can remove from the folder. You can print it. You can email it to yourself. You can save it. You can, look at that. You can cite it. Ooh, let's see what that is. Alright, here we have all the different formats. ABNT, AMA, APA. Well, we're doing MLA, so we go down to MLA. And here it is. Now, all you have to do is copy and paste this into your Works Cited, but you have to be very, very, very careful. I cannot stress that enough. Very careful. Did I happen to mention be very careful on this? Now, this may be cited correctly as to when it was put in this particular database, but it might not be correct as far as present MLA format. So you have to be careful. You have to check it. Also, if you copy and paste this, you're going to get it in this font in this particular format. You want it in Times New Roman font and in hanging indent double spaced, right? So I don't really care if you use this, but make sure it's correct. Another thing that could happen is here, sometimes the title of the article is all in caps. You can't do that. I will dock you so fast it will make your head spin. So don't be lazy. Make sure this is correct. Right? Other things you can do. Export it. You can create notes. You can have a permalink. You can share it. Right? So let's go back and let's look at our result list. Now, let me go up to the top. Remember I was talking about the keywords and the subject terms? This is where I'm talking about putting those things. Now you definitely will get the original article, but you might get others that are similar. So keep that in mind, right? I think this about does it. You can practice this. If you decide that you're not getting the results you want other databases, you're finding that you're getting stuff from a database that you don't want, you can always come back here and choose databases and change things around. Maybe you don't want Agricola, all right, and you get rid of that. Or you do want another one. Maybe you want something that's in Psych Articles, and you do that. Fine. Then you click OK, and you go back and you do your search again. So we want to go back to our advanced search. You can really get picky with this, and it should give you some good information. If you have problems, let me know. Maybe I can help out. We'll see what happens. All right? So use this, play with it. That's the best way to learn how to use EBSCOhost. Good luck.